Welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, by from thoughts, or thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of her advocacy, she is the bridge between business strategy, intuition for professionals seeking more, other than Miss Kathy Knowles.
Hello, how are you? It's so great to be here, Daniel.
I'm fabulous, fabulous Miss Kathy, and welcome on Aplicasa. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I
Absolutely.
guess?
Absolutely. I work with women who are entrepreneurs and business owners in helping them really um, combine their intuition along with their own business strategy. What I found was when I worked in corporate for so many years, I was consistently using my intuition and didn't really realize it until I stepped out of corporate and said, wait a minute, there's so much power in, just being involved with, hey, what is this? What is this? What am I getting? So, yeah, that's what I help women do.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Kathy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today let's talk about your raise your vibration frequency for success and soul expansion. Let's start with the core concept. What exactly is vibrational frequency in the context of our personal energy, and how can we sense or measure it in our daily lives?
Right, right. So when it comes to our own vibrational frequency, when we're in that space of feeling shame or guilt or anger, right? Any of those type of frequencies, those feelings, we're in a lower 3D vibrational frequency. So our goal is to be able to be in the space where we vibrate, where we would naturally vibrate. So is that through love? Is that through passion? Is that through, like, what is that? Is that through your creativity? Because those frequencies vibrate much higher and they're really considered more 5D. So, that's the space where we can go to really get those intuitive insights. That's the space where we can go where we see all of these beautiful things, like they just come to you. And so then you really start to work on, quieting the noise and listening to your inner self and really starting to align with your higher self. So that's what vibrational frequency is, and it matters. It really matters.
Quieting the noise. I like that, Miss Kathy.
Yeah.
The link's frequency of both success and soul expansion. How are these two outcomes? One often seems as external and the other deeply internal, connected through our energy.
Right. So now that we're in more of this space of alignment with ourselves, right? So we're in this space where we're starting to feel more oneness, even though maybe the world doesn't look that way. We are. And it really is aligning ourselves, our humanness, with our soul, with our higher self. So when you're talking about aligning the success side, that's more our humanness, our soul. And then when it comes sorry, not our soul, that's our humanness. And then when it comes to the expansiveness, that's where our soul really comes in and starts to direct us in a way where we can actually hear it, we feel it, we know it. And it's this beautiful dance of combination now where we're living in our humanness and in our spirit. We're letting both of them align and come alive.
Interesting, Miss Kathy. Truly, truly empowering answer. You mentioned that frequency affects every decision, relationship
Mhm.
and opportunity. Can you give us a concrete example of how low vibration state versus high vibration state might change the outcome of single situation like job interview or disagreement?
Oh, yeah, there's so many ways, being in the space of going to, let's just talk about job interviews, of going to a job interview where you're feeling the scarcity, where you're in the space of really being of shame, or where you're saying, oh, I really don't know if I'm, qualified for this position, but I need that money. Um, and going in there feeling much less than, right? Less than. Um, and having that underlying feeling of not being enough, of really being in the space of being shameful or even angry because the interview didn't go as you had hoped or as you had expected. And then the difference is when you're living in your own vibrational frequency, when you can really feel the love and expansion that's around you. Now, even if we may have some fear, right? There's some fear there. Even if you do have that fear, you're stepping into that interview with being curious. You have the capacity to be more playful with it. You have the ability to really look at this and say, wait, no matter what, if I get this job or if I don't get this job, I'm still expanding my opportunities. And it's just a completely different feel. And again, it's coming that the higher vibrational frequency is truly coming from that place of love and curiosity and playfulness, right? So it's just a completely different feeling. And it's something that even if someone's going to the gas station to get gas in their vehicle or they're in the grocery store, people can feel it. People will walk up to me all the time and just start talking. There's just a feel in that energy.
Feel that energy and love, love, love in the air. Many
Yeah.
people, many people think of this just as being positive. How is the concept of raising your vibrational frequency different from a simple positive thinking?
Right. Raising your vibrational frequency, there's a space where we know that good things happen and what we would consider bad things happen. I mean, it's just part of being here. And if you think about it, Daniel, for me, when I first realized I was even intuitive, it's because I lost my mom. She passed away 24 years ago, and it was very hard for me. And all of a sudden, after she passed, things started to happen, right? And even though I went through that moment and that year, it was a really rough year. Um, it was beautiful. And that's just it. It's the positive and negative in the world. It's being able to be in the energy of the beauty and the ugly. It's really and saying, okay, this is where I'm at right now. What do I do with it? How do I, in my own way, in my own frequency, what do I do with it? How do I now expand on this? And it's asking yourself those hard questions so that you know that you are in oneness. Um, yeah, yeah,
It's okay to be not okay, people. Just let
ah,
it go.
yeah,
And Miss Kathy, the mechanics of energy and impact. What are the most energy leaks or daily habits that
mm,
chronically lower a person's vibrational frequency without them even realizing it?
right. Um, getting up in the morning and going to a place of work that you don't enjoy, that you're not feeling that creative hit, right? It's being in the space of consistently being angry, whether it's at your partner, at your children, at your animals. It's that consistency of the anger just showing up. It's being in this space where you constantly feel resentment. Maybe you feel resentment because you do have to go to work, or maybe there's this constant focus and worry in regard to money. All these things are just pop-ups within our body, within our humanness. They pop up, and next thing you know, I have a friend that I actually walk with, and she said she says every morning her hardest thing is when she first wakes up, because all of this negative stuff just it just like comes seeping into her. And so as we've now been walking, I can feel, and I haven't necessarily said, hey, this is what I do for a living. Like, she doesn't know that. She's older than me, and I just haven't shared that. But I can feel her energy now is starting to become softer. She's starting to become less harsh on herself. And, it just comes down to really, all right, I feel it. I know I'm here. How can I go from here to being a little bit more positive? Because you're not going to be able to jump from anger or fear or any of those things. You're not going to be able to take that all the way up to love. It just doesn't work that way. But what can you do to start now getting some fluidity, getting some flow in your life? Is there something in the morning you can get up and read? Can you meditate then? And meditate doesn't have to be sitting. Meditate is movement. Like, how can you move? What can you do? How can you get in the flow of that energy? And, just to start to fill yourself up so that as the day goes on, you're not noticing things that make you angry or shameful or resentful. It's just not there.
Miss Kathy, tell us, how does our psychological body, our diet, sleep, and movement play a role in determining our vibrational state?
Huge, a huge role, right? I found that as I'm getting older now, I'm finding that simplicity is so important for me. Simplicity in how I plan my days, simplicity in what I eat. I, don't really walk down the middle of grocery stores anymore. I'm on the outside aisles. I'm looking at, you know, um, the fruits and the vegetables, and we eat a lot of fish, and it's very wholesome fish. And just being in the space of knowing that um, whatever you decide to do, for instance, alcohol or drugs or anything like that, it's going to put you in another direction that maybe you don't want to be. So it's just really looking at yourself and honoring you for who you are and what you yourself can give to the world. And who knows what that is? It can be working with your hands, it can be being in the space of talking to people, but it really is about the energy of taking the best care of yourself so that you can live in this world in your brightest light.
To bring on Earth, for sure. So, Miss Kathy, the concept of the law of attraction is often tied to this. How does raising your vibration actually change what you attract into your life in terms of both opportunities and people?
Yeah, it's incredible. It as I said a few times here, there's something about as you raise your vibrational frequency, your curiosity also raises, right? So when you're in that space of curiosity, it truly is this playful way of being here. It's almost like, you're looking at a person, or let's say, you're looking for a significant other. And it's this way of being really curious when you're going up to people and when you're talking to them, and not really having a fear of doing that, right? And it's being in just the flow of um, that moment of fulfillment. And when I say that, I mean that's not in a selfish way. It's How can I be happy now? What does that look like? Who can I talk to? Who's out there that may need to hear my voice? And if they do need to hear my voice, then what can I say? Right? What's the right thing to say? It's being in that space of really being able to um I don't know, I keep coming up with the word play today. It just feels like, yeah, it's just play.
Play like a child. It's something good to yourself and for your surrounding. If someone is feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or in a low vibration state, what is the very first, simplest practice you would recommend to begin shifting their energy?
Breath, breath. Um, Whether it's, you're counting 7 in, holding 7, releasing for 9, right? Then holding your breath for 7 and then through your mouth. Breath is the fastest thing that I have found that can really change my dynamic, change whatever it is in that moment that I need to release. It's with breath that I do that. And also, you can do more of the fast, the fast breath. And if you're laying down and doing that, that can really take you to places almost outside of your body. So just being in the space of being willing to play with breath work, it's one of the most incredible things you can do.
Breathwork is the answer, people. Try it. Try it sometimes. How does the energy of our environment, our home, our workspace affect us? And what are the some quick ways we can declutter and raise the vibration of our physical spaces?
Yeah, that's the first thing I was going to say is just declutter. Just be very aware of the things around you that you can feel. Like for me, I love my crystals. I have crystals all over, and each one of them, I can pick them up and feel them, and I can just feel my frequency. Go to the different places where it needs to, right? Whatever chakra it is, whatever, is it grounding me in Mother Earth? What is it doing? And so for me, the first thing I would say is definitely to be in the space of uncluttering, giving things away. If you don't feel there's that much value to it, throw some things away. Just be in that space where you say, okay, I don't need this anymore. Um, and then two, I would say, be in an environment where you're completely happy, right? So my husband and I, we have two puppies, two border collies, and they are, wow, they're border collies. And what is it? What is it that can help fill you up? Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it so? For instance, yesterday, a little squirrel. So we live here in Florida, right? And there's lots of trees and everything around our house. And a little baby squirrel went running into our house. So my husband goes, he gets him, he picks him up, he brings him out back, and he's really nervous. He's out back now and he's really nervous and he's breathing so heavy. And so I'm trying to get him to go up the tree and he won't. So I picked him up and he just sat there in my hand, all curled up, and I could pet him and I could, it's about that. It's with the energy of nature. So if there's a way that, not that, don't invite a squirrel into your house, but I mean, if there's a way, but if there's a way that you can be more in nature, right? For
Mhm.
me too, something else that really lifts my frequency is books. I love I love a real book, and yeah, I'm surrounded by books, and it just really takes me and puts me at a completely higher frequency.
Miss Kathy, this work can feel solitary. How can we find and connect with that tribe or community that resonates at a similar frequency, and why is that important?
Yeah. So you can find these people through spaces where they are um, really connected, right? You can go to places, a lot of yoga studios, a lot of crystal shops, a lot of women's places, a lot of, for here, I find I can go to the ocean and there's a lot of people there that just have the same vibrational frequency. And of course, online. Right? There's so many of us that you can find online. You can go to a place like Substack, which I know Substack, and it's just a place where you can really read amazing things and take in their vibration. It's incredible. Yeah.
Incredible indeed. So, Miss Kathy, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in the fourth season, as well as my movie 101 review and music 101 and science 101 and sex 101 in its second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Kathy, if or for someone who has been on this part for a while, what are the signs that their vibrational frequency is genuinely sustainably elevating?
Yeah, you can tell because all of a sudden you start to feel slightly lighter. There's something about you where you can feel a shift. You're not as angry anymore. You're not as fearful. There's not the shame. You're not going to the place of judgment so much anymore. You're now starting to look at the world in a little bit different way. You may start to all of a sudden be interested in, oh, books. Oh, wait, let me wake up every morning and take these deep breaths in and release them, right? Or be in the space of really being able to, spend more time in nature, whatever that is. These are ways that you can tell that you're raising your frequency. Now, when you get to that space where you're vibrating 5D around love, you'll know it because you stay there in those frequencies. Once you hit those higher frequencies, you have a tendency to stay there. It's harder to knock you down into lower vibration. Just like I was talking about earlier, we have positives and negatives in our lives. And it's really understanding that many times the negatives bring us to that higher point. So then we have the ability to start flowing with whatever it is that comes to us.
Miss Kathy, finally, if you could leave our audience with essential key of non-negotiable practice on mindset for a life of high vibrational frequency, what would it be?
Right. I think when it comes to the mindset piece, again, it would be in that space of how can you help yourself become more curious? What can you do to start asking yourself deeper questions, right? Not the baseline questions, not the humanness questions of, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Oh, what am I going to do? I don't have the money, right? It's really being in that space of being curious, all right? So you don't have the money. Well, why don't I have the money now? What do I need? How can I gain more money? Where can I go to find that? What is my heart really saying in regard to money? What would it look like if I could change this factor and I didn't need as much money as I thought I did? Or I could easily gain the money in ways that I didn't think I could, right? So it's really being in that place where you're really being curious and asking yourself different types of questions.
Yes, people, be curious all the time. Who knows, you will be the next Einstein. Why not, right, Miss
Right?
Kathy?
Why
Yes,
not? Go for it.
go, go, go. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Kathy. Can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or whatever that you're
Ex-
doing right now?
Excellent. So, my website is intuitivestrategies.com, and you can find me on Substack, Intuitive Strategies. I'm just now starting that up. So, if you want to dive into some of my writing, please feel free to do that. And also Instagram. So, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Kathy Knowles because if you support her, for sure, more and more vibrational frequency for success will rise. So, Miss Kathy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I really enjoyed it.
More to come, people. See you soon.